What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Kids at Work podcast with Matt Corman. I've been changing up the title kind of a bit from Kids at Work to Matt Corman podcast, but you kind of get the gist of it. Today, we have another guest. You know, last week you guys heard from Mike's Dead, and I told you that I'm having weekly guests. I got 12 lined up right now, and I've been doing a couple back-to-back ones. So we're getting more into the entrepreneur space and the musician space and getting more in the underground hip-hop scene. Today, we have Apollo on the podcast. He's headlined shows at the age of 16, open up for artists such as Rich the Kid, T-Wayne, Cap G, King Los, Mark Battles, Pacquiao, and many more. He's amassed millions of streams and is quickly becoming a force to reckon with in the underground hip-hop scene. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Apollo to the podcast. How you doing, brother?
Oh, dude, how you doing?
Good. How was the intro? How'd that sound?
That was great. I loved it. I love the reckon with. That was a nice choice of words.
You like that, man? I wanted to keep it short and simple. And
where did you get the information from?
A little Google, you know what I'm saying, man? A little. I got to do my research on you beforehand.
Man said I Googled that shit. I'm dead.
Yeah, man. A little vibes. No, that's on the Spectators website. The little bio right there.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I added a little
flair to it.
A little twist of my own. But thanks for coming on, bro. I'm excited to have you.
I appreciate it, dude. We've actually never spoke before.
No, that's a fucking beauty of it. No, we've literally never even spoken. That's like I've been doing these more with you're like my fifth musician that I'm having for this thing right now. But like you'll I don't know if you're gonna come on next week or the week after that. But like I'm talking to everybody who we've listened to each other's musics and have like communicated back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's just like interesting because it's like, yo, what's up? Like, oh wow, like we have never actually had this had like a sit down chat. You know?
Talk. Yeah. There's a lot of people like that, especially in like this weird realm that we're in. Like I talked to like when I opened up for Justin Stone, we were like in his tour van and we were talking about it and we were like, dude, we're in such a weird fucking realm where everyone knows each other, but like we act like we don't like know each other, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like we don't talk to each other, but we like, it's weird. It's such a weird, so weird. But like even like Abstract, I've talked to him I've known him for a little while and we finally just like sat down and had like a 3-hour conversation. He's like a super cool dude, but like I had never actually talked to him before.
Yeah.
So it's like cool actually getting to know people and talking to them.
It's fire. And that's like a part of it is that's the whole reason I'm kind of doing the podcast and bringing more, it expands the network. Cause like, I mean, you think of it after I was thinking about I've been talking to people, I'm like, wow, I'm meeting all these artists and everything. And it's like, wow, like I'm going to have a huge network of artists, like, even more close. Cause I've had an hour-long conversation with fucking everybody that makes music.
Yeah, exactly.
And my related artists, but not cool. Like, let's dive into you a little bit. I think people know from me, and I'm not sure how many people on the podcast, like, it's not like the biggest thing, a couple thousand streams on audio version. And then my YouTube, I'm just starting it up. So it's like not that many, but there's might be some people here that don't know who you are. So give us a quick rundown of who you are, where you're from and what you're about.
I am a musician from Lansing, Michigan. I grew up in a town called St. John's, which is right outside of Lansing. And then started making music when I was like 14. I'm 22 right now. So I've been making music for like 8 years. I started recording myself at 14. And then when I was 16, I used to like record every day with this dude from my school, and he spilled chocolate milk, dude, on my interface.
Wow.
And so it fucked up my whole interface. So then I was like, damn, I got to record somewhere. So I started like going to all these other engineers in like the city. And I went to this one place called Studio 707 and it was like $35 an hour. I'm like 16 years old. So I'm like, fuck.
It's pretty cheap.
It's cheap, but for a 16-year-old, you're like, damn, that's fucking hell expensive because it's a minimum of 2 hours. So you're spending $70 every time. And I'm 16. I'm super broke at the time. My like family's super broke. And so I'm like, okay. So then I asked him if he'd teach me how to engineer. And so I've been engineering since then. So like that's like what I do mainly is engineering on the side or whatever. And so I started engineering myself. And then I worked there for a couple of years. And then we had a couple bad incidents. And then I signed to the Spectators in 2018. And then, yeah, in 2018. And then May of this year, they like kind of like changed what the Spectators are. And now it's more of a collective. So I'm not actually signed to them anymore, but like I'm just a part of the collective instead of it being a label.
Gotcha. Dope.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw like when Pacquiao kind of announced that the Spectators is going to be turned into like more of a collective thing, not a label. Dude, I remember when I first started coming up, like I live out in Boston, and studio hours were just hell expensive. Like you said, 35, and the reason I said that's cheap is because like we did like $60 to $80 hour studio times, and I just remember how stupid it was. Like I just remember like paying for studio time and like going there and like, you don't really know the engineer, and it was kind of like awkward, and like you don't want to like hit some notes maybe you're trying to sing that day or just like some shit. And so it's just like I've always been more comfortable like recording on my own in my own setup. Is that still what you do? Do you still record?
Yeah. I still record. I'm in my studio right now. I when I signed to the Spectators, the person, I don't know if you know who he is, Mo T, he like owns the Spectators, like he's co-founder of the Spectators. He was like, he told me basically not to hang around the studio anymore because like the energy is off. Like the people, we call it like Lansing syndrome. It's like you probably have it in your city too, where people, oh, I'm the biggest thing here. Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm the king of the city. I don't like give a fuck about, I don't care about my city because I want to put on for my city, but like these people just want to be the biggest in the city, and I want to be like the biggest ever. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So like, and they lie about things, and he's told me it's just not the people to be around. So then I started we had a studio space there, and it was huge, dude. It was like a crazy studio. And so we all had like our own little offices, and I started engineering myself there. So I have basically the same setup. My this whole room is foamed out right now, like wall to wall is foamed out. And then I have like, my Yamahas and my not my SM7B, my TLM 103, and I just kind of record here. I like recording myself, dude. I couldn't imagine paying someone to record me because I'm very particular about my mix now. Because like I said, I've been engineering myself since I was 16, and I never felt like anyone could get my mix the way I wanted to sound. So like when people touch my mix, I feel like that's my favorite part about making music is mixing it. So it like bugs me when other people try to like mix my shit or whatever. So I just prefer to do it by myself. Plus I fuck up a lot. So, and when I sing, I'm not a good singer, but like the more I do it, the better I get. You know what I'm trying to say? So like, yeah, it's way better recording yourself.
Yeah, I can relate to you entirely. I mean, I do the same thing. This is like my setup. I just have like a little mic stand, whatever here, but I just record right here. I mean, I put a bunch of videos up on YouTube, me recording shit recently, but same type of deal, man. Like I got to a point where like I have my boy. I'm sure you know Adrian Stresso, right? You heard of him before?
Yeah, so, I met him when he opened up for Justin. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, fire. He's like one of my good friends, and he helps engineer a bunch of my stuff. And like this year I was like, dude, like I'm just going to start fucking figuring out how to do it, because like I wanted to have that extra, you got like an extra edge when you're able to like, I kind of want this to sound like this. So you're not going back and forth with an engineer all the time. And so I started mixing, mastering. Like I've done it for a while, but I outsourced, but recently like every song pretty much I've been putting out has been like engineered by myself, and I've been committed to it. It takes like longer to do it, but I mean, I don't know, you get to kind of create what you actually want to create. And so it's pretty fire. But your stuff sounds very clean. I mean, like before you hopped on here, I was, doing my research on you and listening to a bunch of Apollo tracks. And, really impressed. Were you an engineer like before you were an artist, or is this something you learned?
No. The whole time I've been an artist, but like to make extra money. And like, so the deal was that I would engineer at this place, and in return, I would get to record myself there in between sessions.
No shit.
So before I went there, dude, I didn't even know what plugins were before the first session I ever did. I was 16. These people came in, they paid me $35 an hour. I had no plugins on their shit. I'm just like, all right, sounds good. And they're like, wow, what the fuck? And then, so I just been, learning how to do it ever since. And I actually learned the most when I left that place though, because I learned a little bit or whatever, but like, I think just experimenting is by yourself is like how you do it, like how you get good at things. Yeah, absolutely. Plus I took a course in high school, just the basics of it. But besides that, I've basically learned everything how to do by myself. Fire. Yeah. I love that. Self-taught. Same over here. Well, all right, cool. So from Lansing, I mean, dude, I've never even been to fucking Lansing, Michigan. Like what? Really? No, I mean, what's the culture like? Like, what's it like over there? Dude, I mean, honestly, there's not like a crazy culture here, to be real with you. Like there is a lifestyle culture, but like there's not really like a music scene here. It's more like just the way people act. It's more of a Michigan thing than less of like a city to city thing. Like obviously like Detroit has its own culture, like its own lifestyle culture, like slang and everything. But Michigan in general, just like, I don't get it, dude. I love being in the Midwest because like I went to LA in July, and I kind of went out there. I went out there to visit do you know who Ollie Joseph is?
Yeah.
So I went out there to visit him and Hush. And I also went out there to see if I kind of wanted to live out there. And I just kind of figured like, that's not my vibe. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I would be making completely different music. Like the kind of music that I make, I think is reflective of where I'm from. Like you can kind of hear my environment when you're listening to my music.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like the lifestyle up here, it's just like very poor, low key. Like it's very like, it's not like a super terrible area, but it's just like very like gray skies. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah, that's the kind of vibe up here. And I actually like, not that I like that, but it just like, it influences me because, I don't know. I just think you can hear in my music. Like it's very like gloomy. You know what I'm trying to say? Like when you listen to Views by Drake, you can hear like the cold, like it's cold, it's gloomy. It's like kind of like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no, that makes perfect sense. And pretty similar to Boston, you know, but I mean, we get, you know, some like, you know, we get some sunny days and shit. I'm sure you do too, but like, I don't know, Boston definitely has some sort of like historic culture to it. Yeah. And, you know, we get a lot of gray skies. Like right now it's cold as fuck here, but I'm glad that you brought up your music, man, because it's, I think it's interesting how like your take on everything. Cause I almost feel like I know a lot about you. And I've never spoken to you personally, like, you know, we never had a conversation. And your music, and I have a lot of songs of this too, right? Like I have a lot of like marketable songs and shit and like, you know, big bass songs. And then like, you know, I like to rap, you know, you've heard my stuff. And then I also have like a lot of personal tracks where I talk about like my emotions and, you know, struggling a little bit in relationships, whatever it is. And those personally are my favorite songs that I make. And so like, you know, you listen to some of your songs. I mean, I just put on your most recent song. I think it's called like a letter to my family, correct?
Dear Family.
Dear Family. I mean, dude, that one had me like goosebumpy type of deal. Like at the end of it, I mean, you had that whole part in there where it sounds like a gun's being like cocked back, you know what I mean? Type shit. Yeah. And it's just like, people don't go that deep into their music a lot of times. And you know, the way you describe where your environment is from, clearly you're a product of your environment, right? Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Can you talk to me a little bit about, you know, let me get a little more into, before we get into that, like, let's get a little bit more of the background and everything, and maybe what groomed you into the, you know, making that type of music?
Well, dude, for me, I think I have a interesting take on life because, in my opinion, at least, because from like the time I was born until I was 13, I was like a middle-class person, like nothing too shabby. And then from 13 to like 14 to 18, 19, like fucking homeless, living off food stamps and welfare, guns in and out the house, like not knowing my dad, like I was raised by a single mother. Like, so I have two completely different, I've seen both sides where like, you know, happy family, and then at 13, 14, and then everything just goes to shit. And then your life is like crumbling in front of you. And then you're trying to like get back up. So like, that's why my music is so like deep, is because when I started making music at 14, and that's when all that shit started happening. And so that was kind of like a therapeutic, even though I do go to therapy now, but like it's therapeutic to like just say shit out loud sometimes. Like sometimes you just have to say something and let people know. And I don't really get angry in like real life, or like I don't really talk about my emotions that much because I just do it so much in the music that I don't really have to, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just speak it through my music. Yeah.
I think a lot of artists can relate to that. Interesting story, man. I mean, I think that people, you know, we talk about hip hop and the culture, and a lot of it derives from like, you know, struggle music. And that's the type of the culture that we're like, you know, we're dabbling in. And, you know, I love songs that tell a story. And it's just like, I could have guessed that about, you know, from listening to your songs. That's why I'm saying like, I feel like I knew a little bit more about you. But I gotta be honest, you know, if you can judge a book by its cover for a second, you never know what's behind like the person, right? Because I'll take a look at you, and like, let's say I don't know who you are, and I'm like, white kid, looks normal, you know, from fucking, you know, he probably lives in like a nice little middle class suburb with his family.
Yeah. Of course.
Somewhere shit, but then you play on a couple tracks, and it's like, this dude's, you know, going in.
That's what I love that though, is that like you see me and you don't like. I used to say this. I mean, this is kind of not to be like morbid or whatever, but I say it like Robin Williams. Robin Williams was a super happy, blah, 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 ended up killing himself. So you never know like what someone is actually going through until like you actually get to know them and actually like listen to them. You know what I'm saying? So I actually really like that about myself, is that people judge me. That used to be my favorite thing in the studio, is because I just look like this geeky white boy. And then you like listen to my music and you're like, oh, this dude is actually like spitting and actually saying some shit. Yeah, for sure. So you're 22 now, you said? Yeah, I'm 22. Yep.
Bet. I'm 25. So I'm just curious, like, what, how's life going for you at 22 right now? Like, what's, you know, it's obviously a weird year, but what's where are you currently at, I guess, mentally and, you know, career wise? Like, are you out of college right now? Are you in college?
Never went to college. I what's it called? I barely finished high school, and then I went to college for one semester, and then I was like, I had a conversation with my mom, and I'm like, she literally just said to me, she's like, you don't want to be going to school, do you? And I was like, no. She's like, you don't have to if you don't want to. So I dropped out, and then you know, first 2 years where I basically dropped out. And then I immediately signed to the Spectators. So then I had like this place that I could go to all the time. So yeah, I was living at my parents' literally up until September of this year. And I moved out, and I moved into this two bedroom apartment. And one of them is my studio and one of them is my room. Yeah. Excuse me. And yeah, so I mean, it's good. I mean, this is the first time I've ever moved out. I love it, dude. It's fucking way more freeing, because I don't have to. My thing was, I hated recording because when I left the Spectators, I had to record on my own. So I was recording at my parents' place for, you know, I don't know, a couple months, like my dad's house for a couple months. Yeah. And I just, like I said, I didn't talk. So what happened with my dad was like, my dad did all these horrible things to my mom, and then I didn't talk to him for 3 years. And then we're kind of like rebuilding our relationship. So I was like staying at his place for a while, and I was recording, and he would listen while I was recording, and it would like skeeve me out. And I'd be like, I didn't record shit because he would like listen into what I was saying. And not that I care what he's saying or whatever, but like it's personal. You know what I'm saying? My music's super personal. So I don't want someone like influencing what I feel like I can say and what I can't say. So I was like, fuck it. So in September, I'm like, I'm moving out. I moved out, and I've been living here for the last couple months, and I like it. Yeah, that's where I'm basically at. Yeah. I got a cat. My cat's cute as fuck. Fuck yeah, I got a cat too, man. Fuck yeah. I just got a cat. She's a little off. She has CH, or like wobbly cat syndrome. Oh wow. I got her from the Humane Society. Her name's Cora. And when I went in there at 1 p.m., 2 people saw her, bro, and they're like, didn't want her. And then the girl goes, oh, I'm sorry, no one wants you. Said that to the cat. She said, what? That broke my heart. I'm like, why would you say that to the cat? So was this the lady that worked there? Or was this like there, bro? So I was like, fuck, I have to get this cat. But yeah, dude, things are good, bro. I mean, right now I'm just like stacking music, bro. Honestly, like 2020 sucks. So I'm just like, fuck this year. I'm not releasing for the rest of the year. And then 2021, I'm going to try to, I like to release every 2 weeks, bro. That'd be my goal. I just don't want to say that out loud. I guess I just said it out loud, but like, I don't want to like make that a thing, because if I don't release it, I don't want to like, you know, be a thing, but I'd like to try to release every 2 weeks, because my biggest problem is not putting out enough music. Yeah. I hear that from like a lot of people. I mean, like, I don't know how much you know, but like I have like that, like a Spotify growth guide thing that I made, and I've been like getting some artists like that. I'm kind of helping out, mentor or whatever. And like in 2021, I'm actually going to be coaching like a couple different artists. I have like a coaching thing that I set up and I'm working on. Okay. And like, that's like the number one sauce, man. It's just like these, like, it's just, I was just talking with Mike said about this. Like I have like an artist, and he's like, man, like, you know, like my shit should be 100,000. Like he wants to hit 100,000 monthly listeners. It's like this big goal, which I get it. Right. Because like at the time, like before you had it and before I had it, all I wanted was 100,000 monthly listeners. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I just wanted it. Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, I'm like, bro, I get it, but you have fucking 8 songs out. So like realistically, how I look at everything, it's like, I look at everything as like a trend, right? If you can drop like if your streams on your Spotify streams can like sit at that like 50,000 monthly listener mark, right? And if it can sit there and do its thing in the algorithm, like consistently without dropping down to fucking 10 or 20, like after you drop a song, that shows you have a real audience, right? Like where mine's at. I think mine's at like 200,000 and whatever right now. And it kind of like sits there and plays between 200 and 220. And like, it doesn't matter if I drop or not really. But until you can like have like a baseline, because like even if you jump up to 100,000 monthly listeners for a fucking month, doesn't really matter, bro. Because after you might jump down to 30,000 the next month because you don't have enough in your fucking catalog. You know what I mean?
100%. So, like I've been at the same, like I steer with the 110,000 to like 130,000, and I've been there for like over a year. So it, like I said, like I've seen a lot of people go from I have 200,000 monthly listeners, and then now you're at 70,000 monthly listeners because you got off all this playlists. Plus, I think monthly listeners are bullshit. In my opinion, like I'm more concerned about the Spotify followers, like the amount of followers you're getting, because those are people that are getting your music. They like went out of their way to click on you and like get notified when you drop. You know what I'm trying to say? Instead of a monthly listener, because monthly listeners come like, I listened to the song for 10 seconds and then, or 30 seconds or whatever it is. And you know what I'm trying to say? Like
facts.
The Spotify followers are where you want to like grow.
Spotify kind of fucked up by showing everybody monthly listeners and not showing everybody followers. Like you realize like SoundCloud shows, SoundCloud's like, like this person has this many followers, YouTube subscribers, but fucking Spotify was just, we're going to show y'all every unique profile that visited this page and played one song.
It's a good and bad thing. It's good because that huge number, you can leverage for other things that you want to get. But at the same time, it sucks because then people take that monthly listener. Like there's so fucking good artists, like amazing artists that have like 50,000 monthly listeners.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And because they don't have 100,000 monthly listeners or whatever, it's they're not like looked at the same, even though they have just as good music.
For sure.
Plus, no, we're gonna say no. You go.
No, I was just gonna say it's the same thing as like a Instagram blue check or something like that. It's just validation. It's like this guy has a blue check. He's the real deal. But it's like low key, like somebody without a blue check could be the realer deal in whatever industry that is. You know,
like Drewski. You know who that is?
Drewski.
Yeah, like the comedian.
Dude, he cracks me up. He's my favorite comedian right now.
He's my favorite comedian too. He just got fucking verified on Twitter. So that's what I'm saying. That big of a deal went so long without getting, like he was in the Drake video, he was in Jack Harlow's video, still wasn't verified, just got verified. He's like one of the most popular comedians on Twitter. So it's like the blue check mark really doesn't mean shit in the long run.
Verified?
I'm not verified. I want to be verified, but I'm not like pressed about it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. And I
don't know how people get verified, to be real. Like, dude, people out here buying their verifications and shit, bro. I'm like, I don't like that shit though. I don't like the fake followers and like the fake verifications and shit. I think that is so corny to me.
Yeah. Because
it takes away from the people that are like actually like, you can look at all my, like there's a reason that like and I don't care about likes or whatever, but my engagement is so much better than all these people with like 20,000 followers. I'm like, dude, how do I have better engagement than you do, bro? And I have like, a fraction of your followers. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Nah, I get it, man. And it's like, it ruined the fucking game. It's the same thing like with Spotify with like having, those playlists. I mean, I like talk about it all the time, like more like in my course and shit. And I talk about how like, a lot of times these people are paying to get on these, like, it's like, we're going to do a playlist push. Like, cool. Also, I'm completely against it. Like, you can, whoever's listening to it, you can check my Spotify, like my chart metric or my about me thing. And like my most played playlist, like you click on them and they probably have like 100 followers on. Like, I'm not in any playlists, or my highest one is the This Is Matt Corman playlist. And so like, I don't do any playlisting at all. And that's the one thing people ask me, like, I'm trying to grow my Spotify. Like, what playlist should I pay? And I'm like, none. And like, I have like a different method because I think you end up in these playlists and you get like fraudulent streams driven to your fucking account, and like it inflates your numbers, inflates your ego. You start to think that you're at this level. Like this is just one characteristic of it. Like you think you're at this level, you're like, damn, bro, like I get like 50,000 streams a month, and maybe that's like a lot for somebody. And like, damn, this is going well. But then like you fall off and you're like, oh fuck, I actually get 5,000. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I thought I did for 28 days. And then you get sad and you get even more depressed. And then you also like pay another $500 so that you can be at that level, because you don't want your fans to think you fell off, or you know what I mean?
100%.
Stupid. Like it's a never ending cycle. The only way to actually do something is fucking do it the right way, the real way, organically, and it will last. That I mean that's it. I guess it all depends on what you're in it for, though, because some people are in it just to look like they're popping, and some people are actually trying to build a business. You know.
Well, that's what the whole thing is, and I'm not exactly against playlists if they're legitimate playlists. Yeah. If you're actually, because that's just marketing at the end of the day. But if you knowingly know these things are fraudulent, or like you just don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many like, and I fuck with Submit Hub, but there's some not very good playlists on there that like are, because I remember I did one time and it boosted my streams for like literally 2 days. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. This is fucking bullshit. Like yeah, I'm like, this is so whack. So but yeah, if you're doing it the right way, okay, but like I would rather just build it. Like Paccie's fan base is like organic. Like I look up to him because his shit is so like, he just like Logic. Dude, were you a big fan of Logic?
Of course.
So I started following Logic when he had 4,000 followers on Twitter.
Wow, that's a flex.
So I saw his momentum building. Yeah. And it was so fucking quick, but it was real. And I just remember thinking, dude, and that was before I made music. I just remember thinking as a fan, not even a music, I'm like, that's so dope that he's just doing this organically. Like that he can do this. So like it totally changed my mind. And then when I like started working with Pac totally changed my mind on how I think about things, because before, not that I was like down with like doing things that way, but like he just totally like instilled in my mind, like don't be like exposure over money. Like the things he would say, exposure over money, and just like long term, like you want the long term bag, you don't want the short term bag. I would rather take $100,000 over time than $100,000 right now. You know what I'm trying to say? Like and reinvest it. So yeah, he was a huge part in like my mental state. Him and Mo. Yeah.
Pac is a smart man, bro. That's the wave that I'm on as well. I mean, it's like, I mean, you can go to like anything on mine. It's like, bro, like my YouTube has like 3,700 subscribers, but last year it was at 1,100. And so like, I don't care that it's not at 100,000, because
it's also a intense game.
It's an intense game, man. And it's like, and the whole shebang is like every avenue is, but like building something organically is like, dude, like I fucking preach that whole thing. Cause it's like, but it brings it back to the question I always ask people and that artists. It's like, well, like, what do you actually want? Like, are you trying to be some guy that's like popping off until you're 25, or like having a good underground, you know, a couple 100,000 monthly listeners, you're bringing in some checks, or like you're also not getting a lot of profit though, because you're paying for a lot of exposure, or do you want to be somebody who builds a brand in a business that is going to, you know, carry with you until your fucking 30s and 40s. Like, who do you want to be? You know, some people don't want that. I want that. Like, I want it too. You want it too. And it's like, I'm more than just like music, my songs. That's why I do the fucking podcast. That's why I have the YouTube channel, and like I show myself more, and I'm not really like a mystique character. You know what I mean? Like people can know who the fuck Matt Corman is. You click a couple things. And like, I think Pacquiao does a good job at that as well as showing himself too. And I think it's important nowadays to be like, I don't know, like the idea of like the mystique of like an artist, and it's just like, it's gone, bro. You can tell if someone's like, yo, I got 1 million views on my music video. And it's like, well, your other music videos got 10,000. And then like you still have 1,000 subscribers. It's like, now I'm insulted. You think I'm stupid?
Yeah. 100%.
You know? So it's like, and you're right. Like you're pumped that you were on board with Logic at 4K. Like, and I said, that's a flex. Like, it's cool to be a part of an artist's journey versus like,
it is.
Like fans don't have it backwards. Fans don't want to see you super popular all of a sudden. They want to grow with you. So,
yeah.
And I think
they don't want that. And they can, dude. I remember Mo was telling me this, dude. Fans can tell. I think artists think that their fans are dumb, bro. Like fans can tell when you just out of the blue, you're just getting all these streams for no reason. Yeah. Or you gained 10,000 followers overnight. Nothing happened. Like fans can tell that shit happened. You know what I'm saying? So fans aren't stupid.
No, they're people too. Well, like now we're talking about packing spectators and stuff. Like, how did you get linked up with them?
So I was actually a fan of Cyrus first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Cyrus is?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with him. I've just kind of seen his name from being in the game.
Okay, so I was a fan of Cyrus because they're both from Lansing, so they're all from Lansing. And so, like I said, I grew up in St. John's, and they were just like, but I was always in Lansing from like when I got my license at 17. Like I was always in Lansing. I was like literally all the time. I would just leave and never come back. So like they were like the big homies. They were like the big like. Do you have any like big artists from your city that aren't like just they're like the underground like big artists over here?
Yeah, I'd say like like Cam Meekins, from Boston.
Yeah.
I mean like Cousin Stiz is like you know, a bigger name. Yeah.
So like they were like the big OGs, and so I just wanted to like get in with them somehow.
Of course.
I remember I think I was a senior in high school, and I graduated in 2017. So was I? Yeah, I think I was a senior, and I remember I was in high school and they announced like, "Oh, we're doing a show, blah, blah, blah." And I had already been cool with Cyrus. Like me and Cyrus were like, so basically I was a fan of him, and then I just kept DMing him. I was like 16, 15 years old. So I just kept DMing him. And eventually I was like, I tweeted at him or something, and he's like, send it to me. So I sent it to him, and then we just like linked up at a show one time, and we were cool or whatever. And anyway, so I was already cool with Cyrus, but we weren't like friends like we are now. And in school, they announced the show in Lansing, and I was like, I have to be on the show.
Be there, yeah.
So
you were trying to be on the show.
I literally left school right after that hour, like skipped school and went to Fusion Shows, which is this like place and that does like shows or whatever. And I went there and I'm like, I have to be on the show. Like, I don't care what I have to do. And they're like, well, you didn't have to call them all the way here, but you could just email blah, blah, blah. So I emailed them, and then they let me on the show, and I sold like a bunch of tickets. And Ali Joseph was actually on the show too, because he's from here too. And so yeah, I got on the show, and then I guess I was just kind of like on their radar or whatever. And then Cyrus just kept like that was weird. Anyways,
I heard that too.
Yeah, that was my cat. So like, anyways, so Cyrus just kept like talking to Mo about me or whatever, and then we do this thing called Yolk Fest, and it's like a thing we do in Lansing. It's like a festival we do every year, and I invited Pac and Mo to it, and they came, and then the next day they were like, they basically said that they wanted to sign me, and then I had to make 3 songs for them to like hear, because I was a spitter before like I actually made songs. Like I was just like the guy who would spit a whole song just all the way through. I never really made full songs. Yeah. So like, we need to hear you make 3 songs. So I made 3 songs or whatever, and then then I signed or whatever. But
yeah, that's fire, bro. I feel that. I have a kind of almost like not a similar story, but like with the big homies, I guess, like kind of like the same shit, like hopping on the shows and stuff.
Because you like idolize these people in your city because you want to just be like, and that's what I had like this conversation with my therapist. I remember being 16 and I'm like, I just want 1,000 plays. All I fucking want is 1,000 plays. If I get 1,000 plays, I get
1,000 plays. I'm the big.
Yeah. So I didn't get 1,000 plays till I was like 17.
Yeah.
When I'm 17, I'm like, dude, I just want 5,000 plays. If I get 5,000 plays, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I get 5,000 plays. I'm like, if I get 10,000 plays, I'll be happy. So then I get 10,000 plays, and then I'm like, okay, 100,000? Get 100,000 plays. I'm like, okay, if I get 1 million plays, I'll be the fucking happiest person in the world. You can get 1 million plays, and you're like, I want 5 million. You get 5. It's just like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's like, you're never like content. Like, it's a good thing and a bad thing, because one, you don't really appreciate it at the time until afterwards, and you're like, damn, I'm on some fuck shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so I saw what they were doing though, and I'm like, these people have like Pacquiao has fucking millions of plays. I'm like, I need to be wherever the fuck he's doing. Mm-hmm. So it was just like that whole like thing of it. But
those people are almost like unattainable. Like I remember just like when I was like, everyone did the same shit whether they want to admit it or not. Like I remember like, bro, like my current manager was like a manager of like an artist like that too, that I, was looking up to at the time too. Cause I was fucking peppering him with emails, like trying to get up. And I was like, bro, like, okay, this dude lives across the city and he has millions of views on his shit. Like, I can do that too. I would think, but these people are like, you start paying attention to everything they're doing so much. They're like almost like a mystique famous figure to you. You know what I mean?
Are, dude, they are, bro. I remember the first time I met Pac, I was so, like, this is embarrassing, but like, I remember before I met Pac, cause I went to one of their shows and Pac and Cyrus were talking to each other. And I was so nervous to talk to them that I went right in the fucking middle of them. Like got in between them on accident. Cause I was like gonna say something. I got nervous and I didn't do it, but they're like normal fucking people, like not even that crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? But like in your mind, you're like, this person is fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Of course, man. Like
you get starstruck low key.
Yeah. Not even like, I mean, just cause like I like, and I maybe you probably experienced this too, but like, I've kind of like, not in like a weird brag, but I've kind of turned into like that bigger homie in my city now. Cause like those guys kind of graduated, like Stiz went, like Stiz got songs on fucking radio and shit, what I mean? And like, Cam's definitely, he's an OG. And like, I mean, Sammy Adams too, he's an OG, but like, I've definitely like kind of graduated into a category in Boston where like, I got the like, the young Apollos and Matt Corman's like hitting me up and shit. And like, I like every year I was doing a show in Boston, I would do the Middle East. And I just like would get like peppered, with emails and like people. And like, I just remember like artists coming up to me to meet me and I could see it in their face. Cause like, I know that feeling. Cause I had the same feeling when I was trying to talk to somebody cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like, it's like, I always want to like break down the wall of like the difference between me and you is just like a couple years potentially, like, or it could be a month. Like, and it's just like, and that's the same thing with anything. Like we're talking right now. And like, if you could think of like someone who's like bigger or whatever, like me too, it's like, bro, like one song can make you massive and we don't know when it's going to hit. So it's just like, it is what it is.
That's the whole thing is it literally, you could go from, I remember when I dropped Okay, I went from having like 30,000 monthly listeners to having 150,000 monthly listeners in literally 2 months.
That song's so fucking catchy. Well, why did that song work? Other than it being good, wait, before you do that, because I'm going to say this to you as an artist, I'm assuming that you have songs that you would have been like before, okay, that were like, these songs could have done these numbers.
Now I think that, but before I was like, I wrote the song when I was 19. It didn't drop till I was almost 21.
Yeah.
I had that song for a long time and I knew it was going to be like a big song, but I didn't know it was going to be like that big. And I remember thinking though, like, because the thing with it was, I knew it was going to hit with Spectator fans because For the Love, he's this artist that had the song with Cyrus and Pacquiao called No Calls, and that song did millions and millions of streams too. Yeah. So like, I know this song's just going to do well because of that. And then getting Pacquiao on it, I'm like, okay, Pacquiao has, this allure fan. So, and then we teamed up with Promoting Sounds. So it was just like the marketing behind it was like so perfect. Like I knew that song was going to do well. I just didn't know it was going to do that well. Like I remember telling my friend, I was like, if it hits 1 million streams, that would be fucking amazing. And now it's about to hit 5. So it's like,
I was clapping in the background, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I think it was just like perfect. Like literally every ingredient that I could everything went right for it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing went wrong for it. I've had songs though that did. I have other songs that did super, super well. And I'm like, how did that song do well? But this other one that like is so much better,
bro,
that doesn't do as well. Like I have this song called 200 Miles Away. Didn't do terrible, but I was like, oh, even better example. I have a song called Irish Goodbye on my album. And I was like, this is going to be my song that like pops me off. I was like, this has to be the song that pops me off.
Right. Dude,
it didn't do horrible, but it had like 100,000 plays. And I'm like, which is good, but I thought that was going to be my song, bro. You ever have moments like that where you're like, this is going to be mine. And then this other one pops. And you're like, what the fuck, dog? Like this should not be the song that's popping off right now.
So
it's not like I'm less proud of that song, but I'm just like, this song's so much like, I don't know, bro. It's so weird.
Yeah. I think that's the game though. I was talking about it last night with like my girlfriend. She's super smart and she like, I have like something going on in the background right now where I'm kind of having like it's like a deal situation, and like I'm heavily in it, like it's already done and it's gonna be rolling on 2021. I just like never really talk about it, but like I'm in a stage right now where like, this is going to kind of relate back to what you said. I'm in a stage right now where in 2021, the songs that I'm making for that, like I'm going to have a big push, and this push, like I'm hoping is going to be the push that's like puts Matt Corman on a fucking map, you know? Yeah. I finally have like the resources that I need for it. Right. So I'm expecting a lot. And I was talking to her about it. And I was like, you know, what's crazy though? I could do what I think I need to do, and it might not work, because in the past I put out songs that I'm like, yo, this is going to work, and I'm going to do this marketing plan, and this is going to work. And then boom, 20,000 streams. But you get lucky sometimes and you release a song that's like, nah, that's not going to do anything. And then like, bro, my song, I Don't Got Time, dropped it, bangers only. Like I thought that was a fucking throwaway. Drop that song, bangers only. You know, Nick hits me up right away and he's like, bro, fire, let's do some shit on this. And I'm like, cool, bang. All of a sudden, like Fortnite Master has it as his intro song. Didn't even hit him up. It's on like these big YouTube channels. I did nothing. And it's like, you look at that situation, you're like, okay, why the fuck doesn't that just happen for these other records?
For these other ones. Yeah, 100%. It's so confusing, but I mean, people like what they like, and the things that you might like. I think it's also like your personal attachment to the song.
Facts.
Like, for example, I have a song called "You Lied," which was just about a loot of women that I've been with, and it wasn't, not that it didn't mean a lot to me, but it was just like, it wasn't about one specific person. And then my song "200 Miles Away," which was about a specific person, didn't do as well. I'm like, this song means so much more to me than this song. You know what I'm saying? I say, like, I don't know. So I think it's your, you have like a connection with each song, and some songs you have more of a connection with. And so the ones that you don't, you're like, song's not going to do that well. I'll just throw it out there. Other people are going to relate to it because to their, whatever their situation is. And the song that you like is only relatable to you, and not in that sense, but it's, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's most relatable to you. Yeah.
Absolutely. So and that's why it's a confusing game. That's why I brought up last night, because I was thinking of like, it's confusing because then I'm sitting there and I have like, my situation is like a little different. I can talk to you about it like kind of off air a little more, but it's like, I'm thinking of, okay, what are the perfect songs for this then? And then like, I was just like talking with her and I'm like, I don't know what the perfect songs are, because I tried to make the perfect song, marketable songs, and those flopped. And then sometimes the songs that I think aren't even like there end up doing well. So like, you know,
what's your favorite song you've ever made?
Wow, that's fucked up. It's a good question, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the mood, man. It's so hard to say. I would
song that you're the most proud of doesn't have to be because of success, but when you listen to it, you're like, this is like an amazing song.
Yeah, Issues and Problems, or Issues and Problems. And yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, like those records are just like going away. Oh man, there's just like, it's a good question. I want to throw it back to you too, because like, I don't know, because at the end of the day, as an artist, right, it's like you make those songs and you may be like, wow, those are my favorite songs, but it's like my favorite songs are also the songs that fucking worked for me too. But they might,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, what's yours?
I don't know, dude. I guess I should have thought about that. I mean, probably
it's hard to answer.
Yeah, probably 200 Miles Away, or I think Dear Family is like my most most powerful song. So that song like means a lot to me.
Bro, that's a powerful song, because I grew up on like freestyle rap culture. Like I love freestyling and spitting, and like I could tell that that's where you came from too. And it's like, that song's like not really like a melody. Like it's not going to be on the radio. That song's just like sits down, spits some bars, and kind of leaves you with a cliffhanger of like, and then I love like the artistic like side behind it of like the phone rings at the end, and then like at the end you kind of hear you like thank you, like almost like saying like you were like, what I interpreted it of, I'll tell you what I interpreted it as. Like I interpreted it as like almost like a suicide letter, just telling about how like you know are struggling, and you know some people don't understand like family issues, and some people just like don't have a gist on what's really going on in your head. And then like you were thinking about taking your life, and then somebody ended up calling you, and then you were like, all right, cool, I'm glad I have someone to talk to, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, you pretty much got the gist of it. That was actually like a real thing that happened, and I wrote it the night that happened.
You?
Yes.
Wow.
So that actually, I wrote that the night that actually happened. So that's why I didn't mix it, was because I did that all that night and I never touched it again. Cause I'm like, this is too like, you can feel like the energy in the song, like when you're listening to it, like it's a raw, like legitimate feeling that you can feel when you're hearing it. And basically, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Was like I was about to take my life, and then I was literally like 18 seconds away, like not, but I was like right about to. And then my best friend from high school called me, and I was like, "Thank you, like you just saved my life," basically.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How? Well, I'm glad you're.
That was also 2 years ago. I made that song 2 years ago, too.
Jesus, wow.
I decided to put it out because I read a statistic that the ages from 10 to 34, the second biggest cause of death is suicide, which was like, to me, is insane to me.
That's crazy.
So I read that, and then like gave me chills just like even reading that. I was like, I have to put out this song. Like if it can help someone out there, because I've had people, because my music is so mental health based, and so like real, like I've had people tell me that I've saved their life, and like my music helps them get through the day and shit like that. So I'm like, if I can like put a song out there that makes someone feel like, okay, it's not totally out of that your favorite artist like has gone through that too, then it's okay. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's okay to be sad, but it's just like not okay to fucking give up, you know? Like, so that's like my whole thing with that song.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
It's a deep song, bro.
Yeah. And I think a lot of your lyrics touch on like a lot of deep stuff. Oh, just fucking throwing the mic down. I think a lot of your lyrics in a lot of your other songs too, like whoever's listening to this right now, like you should definitely check out like a lot of the tunes. Like it's like a lot of deep stuff, dude. And like I love your delivery. One of the things that's really noticed about you as an artist is like, you know, someone could get in the booth and they're like, you know, I'm chilling in my house, man. You know what I'm about to be like, I'm chilling in my house. You know what I mean? Yours is like very confidently delivered. That's something that kind of sets you apart. So I'm giving you props there, but like I kind of want to go back to that because like, it's like, I think there's a mark that we could almost miss in having this conversation. And the mark is that I want to touch on that. It is important for somebody that has a platform, like regardless of what you think of yourself and what I think of ourselves, because we want so much more for ourselves and we want to have millions of streams on every song. We want million listeners every single day. There's still, a couple hundred to 1,000. I don't know what your stats are, that are listening every single day. And I know yours are in the thousands every day. Yeah. So like, these are human beings who are going, I'm going to work today. Today might suck. I'm throwing Apollo. Cool. Yeah. Bang. Every day, like you become a part of these people's routines. And I think it's important to, as artists and as, platform holders to share a message that is like, hey, I'm not, cause there are a lot of messages that are just like, oh, this guy is the coolest. He's a mystique figure that is cool. But like, when you listen to someone like you, it's like, people can almost like when we hopped on, bro, the first thing I said, I was like, I already feel like I know you. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So I
love that.
Yeah. So it's like, your fans, the reason why you'll do better than somebody who's just a market artist is because your fans actually like are your friends and they like care about what you have to fucking say and they like want to know about Apollo and they like feel like they are Apollo at points, Yeah.
That's what I want though. I want it to feel less. Not that I don't like saying fans because I do say it, but like they're more just like you said, supporters or more what they are like.
Yeah.
I want you to feel like you know me without knowing me. I don't like I like the mystique. Like my favorite artists are like example, Frank Ocean. You never fucking hear about him.
Right.
But you know about him because of what he's saying in his music. NF, another good example. Like you don't ever hear about him ever, but you feel like you know him because he's so fucking just real in his music. So that's what I want. I want you to feel like you know me without us actually having to speak. And not that I don't want to speak or whatever, but just like you just knowing me through the music, That's what I want people to get from it. Yeah, great take on it.
I guess so. Knowing that, kind of a deep subject. Like, I want to jump out of it. Like, how you doing now? How's your mental health now, and how are you feeling?
Yeah. Well, I'm great now. Like I said, that song came out 2 years, or not came out, but I made that song 2 years ago when I was with this person that I thought I was gonna marry, like the love of my life type person, and I was already going through so much. And then I completely, my upbringing is like the shit that I've seen in my upbringing is like horrific. So I finally opened up and then she almost threw it in my face. So that to me fucked me up because I was like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I just completely opened up to you and what I said or whatever. and she like threw it in my face. So that fucked me up. And then all the things from when I was a kid, I just kind of like went numb when I was younger. And then I just started thinking about it. And I finally like realized, damn, like the things that happened from when I was 14 to 18 years old are like really affecting me right now. And I'm like 20. I'm like, this is kind of fucked up that I never even thought about it. And yeah, so I just like all resurfaced at this very moment. And I was like, I can't take this. And that's when that happened. But yeah, since then I like went to therapy, and I'm great now. Like, I think everyone should go to therapy. I think therapy is good for you if you're going to be open, you know what I'm saying? Not to just go through a therapist, but like be really open with your therapist. And yeah, I'm good now, dude. Like, I felt the best in the last, like, I have anxiety really bad. Do you deal with anxiety at all?
You know, it's crazy. I used to deal with it a lot, and then I was chilling. And then as of like the last, like, I'm good now, but the last like couple of months, like 2 months, like last couple of months, not like this last month, I was like waking up with like panic attacks. And I think we talked about like over a tweet one time.
Yeah.
Like, but it like never happened to me like that. And like, bro, I was just like I'm like a very, like, I don't know, like I'm a very fucking easygoing person, like type B, like I'm fucking chilling, dude. And like, I was wake up in the middle of the night and couldn't breathe, bro. And it was crazy. Nothing I felt like I could control. And there weren't like thoughts that I was like, I was anxious thoughts. It was like, I would just like wake up and my heart would be pounding and I can't fucking breathe. And like, I couldn't get it together. Like, it was for weeks straight. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? You know? And I don't know, but I mean, yeah. You deal with.
I haven't had anxiety in months though, but my anxiety is super bad because mine just turned. I don't have really anxiety. Mine just goes straight to panic attack. So the last 2 summers, like not this summer, but the last summer, I was going through like an existential crisis. I'm 21, so I'm like thinking about the world a lot. So I'm like, this is fucked up. Like,
yeah.
One day I'm gonna have to die, bro. Like, this is fucked up. So I was like going through that and I was like, fuck, this is like, so I started having panic attacks every day. And when I wasn't having a panic attack, then I was having anxiety because I'm waiting for the next panic attack to happen.
Jesus.
So, and then this summer I was having this thing called, it's like derealization, or like,
that's what I grew up with.
Yeah. So you're like, whoa, I'm alive right now. I'm like, whoa, like I'm really here. Like, this is crazy. I feel like I'm like looking at myself third person almost. Yeah. And so I was having that happen and it was scaring me. So then I was having panic attacks. Like, I remember it happened really bad when I was in LA, because I'm like, yo, I'm in like across the world right now. Like, this is fucking what?
It bugs
like, you know what I'm saying? So it bugged me out. And then I was having super bad anxiety. Like I could feel my heartbeat from my fucking head to my toes. Like, it was insane. And then I was just like, the person, and this what's helps me is the person that's telling you this shit is you. So that helps me because I'm like, I'm the person telling my shit this, because anxiety is just like things that are happening mentally happen physically. So what's going on in your head is making you feel physically ill. So me telling myself, like, I'm the one telling myself this. And I also have like breathing techniques that I do now, but yeah, like I've been fine, which is, it like weirds me out almost, because I'm like, I've gone way too long without having anxiety. Like, I almost forget what it feels like. Not that I want it to happen, but I'm like, it's so long. I'm like, when is it gonna happen again? But yeah, it's I've been good, bro. It just takes a long time, and I actually just started going to therapy again like 2 months ago. Nice. So yeah, so it helps a lot, bro.
Good. I'm happy to hear that, you know, it's getting better for you. I can relate to you as well. I grew up, the first type of anxiety that I had was derealization, and I didn't know it was a thing until I started Googling. Like, I remember Googling, I feel like I'm not real, and like shit like that. Like, I was talking about like at like 15 years old, 14 years old. So, but I mean, my shit got better because like it's almost pretty, it's like kind of in the realm of what you're talking about. I had I had like a bad like dirt bike accident, you know, and I've seen like a lot of, you know, like people get hurt on dirt bikes and shit. And my biggest fear was like getting paralyzed, because I've seen like kids break their backs and like get paralyzed and shit. And I was like, damn, that just sounds terrible. And then I started to have this outlook after my accident where I was like, flip side of it. I was like, you know what? Like, I could have died. I'm gonna die. So like, what am I bugging about? Because like, it like, regardless, like, But like I freak out all the time because the death thing got me too. And I was like, oh man, like I could die. I'm going to die. And it's like the one it's like as simple as this. It's like, yeah, like that's the one thing you can count on. So like, what are you even stressing about? You don't even have control over that. So like control what you can,
facts.
you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And that just,
sorry, not to say that. I was just going to say, not to like get preachy or whatever, but I also grew up being an atheist. And so lately I've been more like getting in tune with I'm a very spiritual person now.
Yeah.
So not like turn lights off and get the whatever, but like I'm just a spiritual person. And so like I'm comfortable with the idea of it now. It doesn't like, that was my biggest fear was death.
Like
and then getting to where I want to be and not being happy. Those are like my two biggest fears in life. So yeah, so now I don't really fear death anymore because it's like one of two things are going to happen. I'm going to go somewhere, or it's just like what it was before I was here. So it doesn't really scare me at all.
Yeah. I completely agree. It's funny because like, I'm a very, very big skeptical person. And I grew up going to like Catholic school, but my way I was, yeah, you did too. And I was raised, like I could fucking go deep into this shit. But like I was raised, like my parents are very like laid back, like weren't really raised with religion. Like I'm talking about like I had no rules in my household when I grew up. And so, all right, cool. And but when I went to Catholic school, I was like, okay, like God's real, like bang, we're supposed to follow like religion. I get it, boom, boom, boom. And as I got older and I got smarter, I started questioning everything. And then I was like, God's probably not real. And then I lived like a lot of my life. It's like, God's not real. Cool. Yeah. Jesus is just a guy who like died, that whole shebang. Like that's the route I roll. And now I'm 25 years old and I could say, I still don't fucking know. And I'm here like, I'm a very big skeptical person of literally anything. You could tell me like, oh, like this is a fucking coffee cup. And I'll be like, well, like, are you sure? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that's real. It's definitely a thing that you have to. I've almost died multiple times. So
Jesus. One
time when I was like that one time, that was my most spiritual awakening, like that song. And then I had this time where, listen to this crazy story. I was 18. Yeah, I think I was 18, and I was a delivery driver for Hungry Howie's. And do you have Hungry Howie's over there?
I do not, no.
Like pizza. And anyways, I was delivering and I like, dude, where's my phone? So I was driving and I fishtailing. I stepped on the brakes. My car went twice. Like fucking rolled. Boom. Landed on the back, head hit my windshield.
Wow.
Passed out. My mom heard me screaming from the base. She was the only person at our house. Heard me screaming from the basement for help. And she called me. She's like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. After I just got in an accident, I woke up to her phone call. So that was like one of the things I'm like, that's fucked up. So ever since then, I'm just like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Yeah.
Wow. My man, yeah. You lived a lot of life in 22 years.
I know that's how I feel though. And that's why I appreciate that. I feel like I have so much to say. And that's kind of like why I like making music is because I have a platform. I'm a listener. I don't really like talking that much. I like to listen. I'm interested. That's why I listen to podcasts. I just love listening to talk. When I'm like doing shit, I'll literally like watch Everyday Struggle or all these different places. And I'm just like, I just like hearing people's opinions and shit like that. So I'm more of a listener, but it gives me an opportunity to talk. So that's why I like making music. Well,
those who say the least usually have the most to say. So it's pretty interesting how that works out on your end. No, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you came on. You're on the podcast because you do have a lot to say, and you're a great guest. So like, pumped you should start talking more.
What's it called? I wanted to start a podcast, but dude, I feel like there's so much fucking work that goes into it. That's like I just want to talk, bro. Like, I just want to like share my, like I said, I feel like I have a unique, because I've came from two different backgrounds. Give a perspective on something. So I would like to, but dude, there's the video aspect, the audio to putting it on all these different places. Like and I've learned this from being independent, like 100% now, like, dude, I give everyone so much credit because when I was signed to Spectators, I mixed, mastered and everything and wrote the song. But like I would submit it to them and they would just do everything and then I just post the link. I'm like, dude, I have to make the artwork now, and I have to submit that shit, and I have to distribute it. Like, what the fuck? I was like, this is, and fill all the links in and shit. I'm like, this is so much more hard work than I thought. So
wow,
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, man. Well, that's definitely the lifestyle I'm living. Like and like I was doing
it's rewarding though.
Yeah, it's hella rewarding. Like for instance, like, you know, today, like I'm dropping a song this Friday, and like I had to like make the art for the YouTube, the dimensions for the YouTube different from the SoundCloud cover art, and it's like uploading that, and then like also like I'm doing the pod with you, so like I'm gonna have to edit this up later and make a thumbnail for it, and then like there's a lot of things that go into it that people don't know, especially if you have like the Spectators kind of running that shit for you, which is like definitely something that might be missed, you know?
Yeah, dude. I just remember putting my first single out, and I'm like, I have to do this every time, dog. This is like, what the fuck? But yeah, I like it more. It's definitely more rewarding. Like when I put out a song, I've been trying to produce too. I actually produced 2 songs off my last album, but I think it's like, you like Russ?
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate it. Like I love that he does everything, because it's just like, and I like how cocky he is about it, because it is a lot of work, bro.
Yeah.
And I liked his take on like when you listen to a song and you're like, damn, like even if like I submit to like somewhere and they're like the mix or like the song is blah blah, not feeling or whatever, but the mixing is great. The fact that they liked the vocals and that the mixing was great, that like that's a compliment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like when someone make the beat, you're like, the kick is cool because I made it. The mix is cool because I did that. The vocals are cool because you know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, I like the artwork. I fucking did the artwork. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I remember like when I had like, I'll get like if I get like a song placed somewhere and then like it's a song that I mixed and mastered and like Adrian didn't, I'm like, oh, I feel validated because my shit's cool too. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you get lost in the sauce. It's almost like imposter syndrome when you're like, I'm like, oh, like Word of the Wise is doing so well. Then I'm like, I just recorded and wrote it. Like I didn't do the mix, I didn't do the beat. So I'm like, am I whack? And are they dope?
Dude, I just learned about that from Hush. He's like, do you ever feel like you get imposter syndrome? I was like, what is that? I'm like, dude, I have that all the fucking time because I feel like I deserve, not that I deserve less, but like, I feel like I didn't do as much as everyone. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
oh yeah,
I fall victim to that a lot.
Every like major, it's different when you like. Have you done like you've done a lot of shows and shit. Have you done like shows yet with like your actual fans there and shit though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that like I used to get that like a lot, and like now that like I'm a little bigger now, I remember like I just did like my fans are like kind of like, you know, I call them like it's the MIH fam. Like we have our own group chats and shit. And like there's like hundreds of people in there and like they're like talking. You see it like online. But then when you do it like face-to-face show, like I did one in New Hampshire and there was like, well, like 200 people there, whatever. And then like, you know, I see like Make It Happen tattoos and like Matt Corman tattoos on like some ankles. And they're like, oh my God, like I listen to you every day.
Tattoos are crazy. When you see the fans get the tattoos, they're nuts. Because it's like, I remember I sent my mom the first one and she's like, that's going to be on that person's body forever. And I'm like,
yes, that's insane. Yeah. I remember crying. I remember shout out to Kaylin Sky. She's fucking shit. Like her and Gabby, these two specifically have been like supporting me forever. And like, she got Made Dreams Reality on her. And I used to go by MDR and stood for Made Dreams Reality. And when she got that, like I cried because I was like, my body actually wasn't ready to receive that information of like, wait, I'm being like, people actually give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Not to cut you off, but two shows in particular. When I was 18, I did a show, 19. And I did a show by myself and this kid came up to me and he was like shaking. And I'm like, why are you so nervous? Like, I'm just chilling, bro. Like he was so nervous to meet me because I had a song called 32 Degrees. Yeah. And that was like the first time I had ever like talked about like the way I grew up. And he's like, dude, I relate to that so fucking heavy. Like, it's almost like you're speaking about my life. And then the second time was I had a show, it was the second Spectator show I did where I was actually a part of the Spectators. And that was the first time I ever had a meet and greet. And I had this fucking huge line of meet and greets. And I'm like, these people just want to fucking meet me. And it's like, I'm like, so like appreciative. I'm like, why do you like, I'm such like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I was like, damn, this is fucking crazy. And yeah, it was insane people coming up and just being like, dude, like tell me what their music means to, or my music means to them. And it's just crazy feeling. Yeah. There's nothing like meeting your fans. It's insane.
Nothing like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. My fucking headphones were out for a second, but Yeah, there's no better feeling. Interesting enough, people don't know this really. I mean, we announced it once, but like me and you were actually going to do a little run together for a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, but you and Pac. I'm so fucked up to that.
Yeah.
Because that was going to be my first tour.
Yeah, dude. And like, I feel you, bro. Like, it's the whole touring thing. It's hella annoying because like, I feel like I'm at this place now where it's like, I know I have way more people that are going to be in the audience than they were like last year. And then like even the year before. So I'm like, bro, it's just fucking whack. Like if I was touring right now, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yo, I'd be selling tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like kind of a burden, but it is what it is, I guess, you know?
I wanted to tour so bad. I was so excited. Plus, dude, so I didn't really venture off or vacation or anything until I was like 18. So I still haven't seen a lot of the country. So literally every single place on tour, except for Tennessee, I had never been to. So I was like so excited to like see all these different places.
Of course.
And fans were like, oh, I can't wait to meet you here. I'm like, this is going to be so fucking dope.
Yeah.
And then I remember with the coronavirus, bro, me and Pac had a conversation at the office and I'm like, dude, it's about to blow over in 2 weeks, bro. Like, it's not even going to be that big of a deal. And then our homie was like, which is his best friend, was like, dude, it's not going to be that big of a deal. We can still tour or whatever. Dude, like the next day, everything shut down. And we're like, yep, okay, well, it's over. Yeah. It was just crazy how we thought it was going to be 2 weeks. I was literally like convincing Pac. I was like, bro, it's not that big of a deal, dude. Like, whatever. And it ends up being this fucking year-long thing. And I'm like, damn, yeah, you made the right decision, bro. Because he didn't tell anyone. I mean, he told us, but I was like, dude, make whatever decision you'd like to make. But like, I think we should still do it. And then he just kind of announced it. I'm like, all right, bro, let's do it. Let's whatever.
Yeah, it's a bummer, dude. I remember I was like, as it was happening, like 2 days before that, I was talking with like Packy because I had this guy who was like trying to do a billboard in New York City or some shit, and he was like hitting me up about it, and I like ran it by Packy because I was gonna like, my idea was I was like, yo, like it'd be cool if we had, you know, the guess you had to be there tour like on an NYC billboard in Times Square, and like I was like pretty on board with it because like, and I was like, you know, I like made an artwork for the band, for the thing. And then like I was running by Pat because I was like, bro, like it'd be cool. Like it'd be cool for social media. It'd be cool for many different reasons. Be like, yo, like, my tour's on blah, like it would look cool for you. And like, he was like, yo, like, let me think about it, whatever. And then I was like, cool. And then, you know, obviously shit didn't fucking happen, but like it is,
that would have been badass,
bro. And I think it was at the point where like, it was like, I forget how much money it was going to cost, but I was also like,
crazy.
I think it was like 2,000 for like getting like a couple different billboards, but I was going to almost, so I didn't tell Packy this, but I was going to like almost surprise you guys because out of like love, like I didn't know Packy, right? He actually said that you introduced me to him, right?
I did. Yeah.
So I'm like a very like open dude. And like I'm from Boston. Like the East Coast mentality is very like real. And artists don't usually like fuck with other artists. I'd be like, yo, like just if you want to hop on this tour, like hop on. That doesn't really happen that often without like some sort of like money play or some shit's going down. And Pac was just like, yo, like, yeah. And it's like, cool. And he was like, even like offering like a like split tickets and shit like that. And like, so I can make some money. And I was like, damn, this dude's legit. So I remember I ran it by Pac and then he was like, yeah, like I'm thinking about it. Like he was just going to get back to me. And I remember making the decision in my head because I submitted artwork to the guy and I was just going to surprise you guys with the billboard in like Times Square to be like, yo, because like I thought it was going to be something dead, but then it's like we go to New York and then I'll be like, yo, like I wanted to make it a thing like, yo, like let's go down there. And I'll be like, yo, like I got the billboard for us. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard. That would have been so fucking fire, dog.
Because like it would have been fire because like you guys would have like, you know, just, you know, toured around the country and then you'd have been like, oh, like this kid still came through and made the bill. And like now we got a billboard in New York City, you know?
Oh, that would have been fucking crazy.
Yeah. I've never told anybody that because like obviously it never fucking happened.
Dude, that would have been crazy. Damn, bro. That's hopefully, bro. I'm hoping we can still go on a tour when everything's done. Dude, it's just, you never know like when this shit's going to end. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are saying fall 2022. And I'm like,
fall 20, bro, like the reason why, like a very, 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 very cool part about being an artist is performing. Like, you know, I didn't start making music to go be, like I didn't make my first song and think like, yeah, I hope like this gets streamed on the internet a bunch of times and like I never get to rap this. Like you're like, you want to be at the concert.
Yeah. And it's crazy when I remember the first time I have a video of it. People knew my lyrics to my song, and I didn't even have to sing the words. And I'm like,
fire.
I literally cried, bro. I was like, this is insane, bro. Like that people know my lyrics, and they're like, it was dope, bro.
That's fire.
I miss performing, bro. It's a good time. I've been performing since I was fucking 16, dude. My first show, bro, though. My first show I ever did, I got fucking robbed at, bro, and jumped.
Like, what the fuck's good with what's going on, bro?
When I was 16, and the thing with this was, I was 16. These people I looked up to in the city, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, I'm big fans of these people, blah, blah, blah. They're like 22, 23, 24. Dude, I'm 16 years old, and they sold no tickets. I sold over 100 tickets, and they were like, all right, where's our money? Bro, I'm not paying you shit, dude. You didn't sell any. I sold all the tickets. What am I going to give you money for when you didn't sell a single ticket?
What is my own headliner?
Yeah. At my headliner. And so.
Oh, wait, this was your own headliner?
I headlined my first show.
Wait, you headlined the first time you ever performed? You were headlining?
Every time I performed, I headlined it, yeah. And so I had these people opening up for me, and I'm like, I'm the headliner. I fucking sold, and I had no, I didn't know anything about it at the time, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me that if I sell all the tickets, I'm still supposed to pay you when you didn't sell anything. You know what I'm saying? You're not bringing any money to the table at all.
Yeah.
You're not really this big popular person. Like the whole thing about doing shows when you're that underground is for your friends to listen to their friends, to get your friends to listen to each other. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's the point of this if you're not bringing anyone? So I'm just paying for your presence to be here when whatever. So they're like, let's have a conversation. So we have a conversation on the patio, and they fucking were like, you're going to give us $300 each. And so I had to fucking give them $300.
How many were there?
3 people.
I mean, these kids are fucking 22, 23, and they're robbing a 16-year-old.
Yeah, 16-year-old.
Yeah, that wouldn't fucking.
Is one of them went off to be great friends with, guess who? Cole fucking Bennett.
Whoa.
And when I see Cole Bennett post about him, it like makes me fucking sick, dude. Dude, it makes me sick, bro.
That's mad annoying. Cole Bennett's a gatekeeper now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's fucking annoying.
I would love to do a video with him. The guy probably doesn't even remember me. It was probably just like you know what I'm saying? Like, he probably doesn't remember that happening. He was just like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, yeah, it was a crazy time. But ever since then they put me on all these crazy shows because the guy was like, I was 16, so the guy like kind of felt bad. I'm like a young kid, and I'm like, my first show I ever did with him, I'm getting jumped. So he put me on like a ton of crazy shows, and that's when I like opened up for Rich the Kid and all these other people or whatever. But yeah, it was insane, dude. I've done like 60 shows.
Damn, you performed a lot. Yeah. I mean, I performed a lot too. I might be in the 60s too. I don't know, maybe less though. That's a lot. It's a ton of shows, bro. I was doing multiple shows a month though. Wow.
Like there was one year when I was 18 where I would do like 3 or 4 shows a month. Bro, one time someone said, I was so pissed about it because people compare me to Logic all the time. And next up, Logic.
What?
Bro, when I tell you my level of anger, bro, it was all the way up here, bro. I was so pissed. I'm like, are you joking me right now?
That's insane.
But yeah, but he was like, I met Apollo, blah, blah, blah. Because we had just had a conversation about how, he's like, oh, you sound like Logic, blah, blah, blah. So I was so pissed though. Yeah, dude, I've had a lot of shows, bro. And I've had a lot of bad shows, and I've had a lot of good shows. Shows are just like, it's a repetition thing. It's, some people are just natural at it. I wasn't natural at it. My first couple shows, I was just like standing around, like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Shows are an art form.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done the awkward ones too, and like, I mean, it's a part of the game though. Do you live with anybody else?
No.
Okay.
I just live by myself, dude. I was gonna live with someone. One of my best friends. I was gonna move with him, and I was gonna actually move to Detroit, but I was like, I like the area up here too much. Like, a bunch of reasons. One, like I said, the music I make up here, I start finding my sound in Lansing, so I don't want to leave because I'm just like, I love the continuation of finding my sound because I'm starting to make like this pop punk shit. But at the same time, it gives me that feeling of like, I remember making the rapidy rap shit. So it's just like I get so much inspiration from being here.
Yeah.
So I want to stay here. And two, I don't want to live with someone. And then my schedule's so fucked up. I go to bed at 8 in, like almost every day. And I wake up at like, 11, noon. And so
you don't sleep a lot.
No, dude, when I was making my last album, I Don't Want to Go Outside, bro. I don't know if you smoke or not, but I would do this. I would go to bed at 7 in, and I would wake up at 10 a.m.
Wow.
And I'd get 3 hours of sleep every single night. I'd wake up, I would buy a Red Bull, a pack of Jewel Pods, and then I would buy, and then I had this pen that would smoke weed. So and then at 11 o'clock, they used to air Everyday Struggle. So by 11, I would watch the Everyday Struggle. This is my everyday. And I would hit the weed, drink the Red Bull, vape. Hit the weed, drink the Red Bull, vape. And so that's how I was staying afloat, was the weed and the Red Bull and and the vape. And I wasn't really eating that much. And so, yeah, I've never gotten that much sleep. I'm just kind of like nocturnal kind of.
God, bro, that just sounds like, such an unhealthy lifestyle.
Oh, an insanely unhealthy. Well, that's what happened was, what I think what palpitations are?
Yeah.
So I quit right when I dropped my album. I quit doing that. So I quit smoking weed. I quit. I still vape, obviously, but I stopped drinking the Red Bulls. I also have a heart condition called a heart murmur. It's not like a crazy condition, but it's still like your heart beats irregular or whatever. So when I quit and I started sleeping more. So I fucked up my body because for 6-7 months I was doing this every single day. And then when I stopped doing it, my heart was like, whoa, this isn't weird. So I just started pumping.
Oh, for the lack of, it was probably trying to meet where it was.
So then that's when I started having palpitations every day. And that's when the panic attacks started happening, was because my body was like, yo, this isn't, what are you doing? You're not doing your regular routine. So yeah, I live a way healthier lifestyle now, but I just vape now. I don't smoke weed. I don't really drink. So I just kind of stick to the vape. These things are crucial when you're making music, bro.
Nice. Everybody has their little thing. I say that, but I really don't. I drink coffee, but I have a coffee every day. I'm pretty. That sounds wild to me though. I need to get I get to bed at 1 a.m. I wake up at 9 a.m. every day.
Yeah. So you get 8 hours.
Yeah. But if I actually fucking sleep, I need melatonin to be able to sleep, or else I just can't fall asleep.
I just started taking melatonin because I've been in the process of changing my sleep schedule, because I'd like to go to bed at 1, or dude, if I could go to bed I haven't gone to bed before midnight since I graduated high school. Wow. So I love that. So I'm trying to change it right now.
Dude, the mornings are good too. They
are. I feel like I get so much done.
You do, man. You get and I'm also, we have way different lives, right? I went to college, and when I graduated college, I was working a job. I had to, be up in the office at 5:30 in the morning. So my body got conditioned to that type of stuff. But you've never had to it sounds like you haven't had to wake up at those times, right?
No, I've had 6 jobs in my life. I was a farmer.
Farmer?
Yeah, from
some Midwest shit.
Yeah, from 13 to 15. And then I worked 13 to 16. And then I worked at Burger King. And then I worked at Big Boy, which is Elias Brothers, or it's a breakfast place over here. Mm-hmm. And then I worked at Subway and Hungry Howie's, and this place called District 5, which was this jumping place. And then after that, I haven't had another job since then. So I just have been making music my job for a couple years. It's not making music, living off streams, but I've been engineering for years. That's how I've been living. Yeah. So I haven't had a regular schedule since I was 19.
Is there ever a part of you that wants to is there any part of you that thinks hey, I'm going to outsource and do another job, or maybe in how do you feel?
I do that sometimes. If I want to get something, but I don't, not an actual job. It's door dashing. So I do that on the side sometimes I do that on the side sometimes when I want to save up for something. Before I moved in here, I door dashed a fuck ton because I was I want to get furniture and have nice shit in my apartment.
It's expensive.
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't want a regular job though. Never. I would rather just DoorDash or do something like that I can make my own time, because I don't fuck people for one. I like being by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I love my, like I just call it, like I love my best friends, but like I like being by myself. I don't like following someone else's rhetoric. I don't like doing things people want me to do. I don't take being told what to do very well. So I'd rather something I can make my own time. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, damn, it would be so much easier if I just had a job I had to wake up to and go, like, which is fucked up. But like, I mean, not fucked up for me, but for me, I'm like, I don't want to be doing that. But at the same time, like, it'd be nice to have a schedule, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could just like, you could create your own then too. Like I have my own schedule here, you know, that I do every day. But I mean, like, it sounds like, I mean, like, are you happy in your situation?
It could be better, you know what I'm saying? It could always be better, but I'm happy with it. Yeah, I like my schedule. I like my routine.
Good.
So I don't want to give up my routine for that, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's your life, right? Like, one of the wackest things about the world is that for some reason, in every category, there's like a certain standard of how you're supposed to live life. You know, like in everything, like how you're supposed to be an artist, even like you're supposed to release this time. There's a 3-month rollout, or like just like anything in general. There's always this fucking criteria to it. But like how like it is, like if it makes you happy, like whatever.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. Is my therapist told me this, and it stuck with me because I always remember thinking when I was younger, I was like, my mom has it figured out, because I grew up with my mom. So I was like, my mom has it all figured out, even when she didn't. I was like, she has life figured out. And then the older I'm getting, I'm like, damn. No one really has this shit figured out, but you think everyone does when you're growing up. So there's no fucking rules to life. You know what I'm saying? Like, do whatever makes you happy. That's my whole thing is I think everyone deserves to be happy. So whatever makes them happy, you need to be doing, you know?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm happy to hear that. That's like, those are perfect answers, because like, I don't know. I know a lot of artists that are like, sure, like they're like doing this thing full time, and because we both know it's like until you're getting a certain amount of streams, like those DistroKid tracks or whoever the hell you use, like when you're at like 100, I don't even know like when I remember like when it changed over for me, but like, you know, it could be like $100, $200 a month, even if you have like a good amount of streams going on.
Well, the thing, sorry, not to cut you off, but the thing for me is I was signed before what's it called? So the songs before that, they take a large percentage of. So I'm only making 100% of my money on all my new releases since May on. So with the amount of streams, I might be able to live by myself, or not live by myself, but like live straight off my streams. And I probably couldn't even live straight off my streams yet, but it would be closer. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But everyone's situation is different, you know? I think it's probably closer to, I mean, when was it for you? Like, when did you were like, oh, I can live off that?
So I'm an interesting person though, because like it's a little different, right? So like when I guess I've reached my threshold of like, oh, I can theoretically like live off of this. I can pay my rent, my bills, because like, you know, I don't have any like daddy money either. Like I don't have a fucking, you know, no one's helping me out. And I was working in corporate America for like a while, like out of school. And while I was at my job called K-Force, I started pulling in like, you know, like $2,500 to $3,000 off my streams. And I was like, okay, I can actually like live off of this. Right. And then, so like, I like, and that's kind of a long backstory, but I continued to like work. And so I've basically,
do you still work now?
What's that?
You still work now?
No, I do. No, this is full time. But like I created the other thing, like the growth guide as well. And like I hit like a point, but like I like to live a certain way. Like I like to have like X amount of dollars in my head per month is like, it's like, I don't want to be a starving artist by any means. Like some people are okay with it, but I need to make like a certain amount of money every month for me to be like, yeah, I can do that full time. You know what I'm saying? So like, I will work another job if I have to in order to get X amount of fucking dollars every month. Yeah. So like, I don't know, but like, I've been there for like at that point, like with music, but like, I also want like more, like I have other ventures in like, you know, real estate and things like that. And then like e-commerce. And so I don't know. It all depends on what you're into though. Cause like I have buddies that fucking, you know, make $2,000 to $3,000 a month off their music streams. And like, are able to pocket like, you know, $500-800 if they're like, you know, doing their thing. But it's like, if that makes you happy, like who gives a fuck? Yeah. You know, I just need to like, I like to have things a certain fucking way, you know, because I like to like invest in shit, you know?
Well, it also depends like where you live. Like
absolutely.
Where I live, Lansing is very cheap. So like where I live downtown, right downtown Lansing, on the 11th floor of you know, saying downtown.
Your spot looks nice as fuck. Like I saw you post like that video of it.
Yeah. It was 2 bedrooms in it. It's only like $1,000 a month.
Wow. Yeah. Yes. Right. And like I live in Boston, which is like fourth most, I think it might be third most expensive city. It's like San Francisco, New York City, Boston, Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So it's so I need to like pull in some fucking money to be like, do my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It doesn't take like, it is crazy. And my dad lives in a 3-bedroom house, like with a pool and everything. And his is $800 a month.
Sheesh, bro. See, that's that shit where I'm like, yo, if I move to another, like I'm doing fine, but if I'm like, damn, if I moved to somewhere that was cheap, like I could live like a fucking, you know, live well.
You could live well, like dude, like houses over here are way cheaper than like I don't know. I just think it's very cheap over here to live. It's not too much to live over here. Yeah, the living expense is inexpensive. That's fucking fire. I'm actually thinking of moving to
Miami next year though. In like,
oh shit.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm planning on, my first time moving out of like Boston, because I need some sun in my life, dude. I know we talked about the gray skies, but like I'm kind of the opposite. I need to have a little
really?
I'm not like a bougie person at all. Like you should see where I fucking grew up. But like I definitely like to live like a certain way now. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you get somewhere and you're like, I don't ever want to go back to that.
That's 100% how I feel.
Yeah.
I relate. But the thing with me is, for some reason, bro, it's weird because I'm almost like, I don't like summer. Summer is like is literally my least favorite season.
Really?
It goes fall, spring, winter, and then summer, because I almost feel like happier when it's gloomy out, which is kind of fucked up. I don't know if that says but like I make better music. I like to go. I just don't like the sun. I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a very white person. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very pale.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could always take a little vacation though, whenever you need.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
The thing is, I like it. I don't know. It's a weird thing about me. I've always just like, that's why I have a song on my album called Gray Skies, because I just like, I feel comfortable. That's when I feel the most relaxed, is when it's like gloomy out. Like all my friends. I have a couple friends that live in Florida, and every time it rains, he calls me because he's like, dude, you would love the weather right now, because it's fucking, I love the rain. I'm like obsessed with the rain. So like, I don't know. It's something about it, but I just feel comfortable. Yeah.
I mean, it's good that you're at the way you're at is like, it's the place for it. But, we're being on for like an hour 30. That's fucking healthy. I should flip it on you though a little bit. Is there I definitely want to have you back on this, because I feel like we could chop it up for hours, which maybe more excited that like we were going to do a tour run together.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking dope. But yeah, like let me flip it on you, man. And like, is there anything that like you wonder about me, or any questions you kind of want to? I didn't prepare you for this at all, but like
you didn't prepare me for this at all. I'll think off the top of my head.
I mean, it's conversational, just like anything, John. Yeah, maybe not though.
For you, does it? Where was your head at when you started doing the weekly singles?
Yeah, I guess in terms of
and
like,
is it worth it to you?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Put it this way. If I wasn't going into the situation with this deal that I am for 2021, you'd be seeing weekly releases for Matt Corman for the foreseeable future. And because I'll tell you what, man, here's the argument with week releases, right? Simple economics, supply and demand. I get it. But it all comes down to like who you want to be, right? Like I want millions and millions. My goal right now is to get 5 million streams a month. That's like what my number is that I'm like, oh, like I want that, which is like a hard goal to fucking obtain. I'm not close to that. But what I think of is like how I grow was from doing. So why am I holding on? Like I used to think I was like, why am I holding on to records and being like promoting it, like being like, oh, this is coming in 2 weeks. Oh, this is coming in 3 weeks. Like I'm dropping this in 3 weeks. Like be ready. It's like, bro, like I'm talking to fucking 10,000 people. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, do I want to talk to 10 million or 10,000? So it's like, I just want to release as much content as I possibly could, because I want to grow. Like I'm not satisfied. And like, that's how I view it all the time. I see a lot of artists fall victim to this thing where like, and like, I can speak from this just because I'm now coaching artists and like talking to different people. It's like, they fall in a thing where like, yo, like, you know, I want to let this simmer for a little bit. And I'm like, fuck, to who? It got 50,000 streams. Like that may be cool, but like what do you want 500,000? You want 50? Like who's simmering? Yeah. Like they heard it. You know what I mean? It takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds to play it. Like, what do you want? You know, they're waiting for the next one, whether you like it or not. That's how I think of it.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to whether or not you can push out that quality content at that rate though, because I know I can, some artists can't. And I knew I could. So I was like, fuck it. Yeah. And a lot of, you know, sorry, you
no, I was just saying, do you see growth out of it? Have you been seeing a lot of growth from?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So I'll pull up my little Spotify thing and look at it right now.
Wish you would.
Interesting here. And audience streams. Cool. So I started August is when I started. It was May. You can actually see it in my chart from May. So May, I was doing like beginning of May, I was doing like 22,000, 19,000 streams or whatever. I should actually just fucking.
You can put it on
screen with you.
Yeah, you can. Let's just share.
Oh, what do you know? Share screen. This one, Logic Pro, Google Chrome. Share Google Chrome. Open system preferences. Okay. Hang on. It's fucking running me through things. Why am I opening this? Oh, here we go. Privacy. Allow. Will not be able to record content on your screen until it's quit. Fuck. All right, I can't do it.
Oh, it's all good, bro.
I'm gonna quit the recording, but I can just fucking tell you then. Basically, what was that? What is that?
I don't believe you.
Yeah, right. It was so May was doing like 19,000, 18,000. I do everything by like your Tuesday streams because it's kind of almost like one of your like lull days because there's not really much going on. Like you know how you have seen like the algorithms like Sundays are low.
Yeah.
So like I was doing like 18,000, 19,000. And then as it went up, like September, like 28,000 was like a high, 25. Now I sit around 20. You can actually probably look it up on your thing too. If you just type in Matt Corman, you can see like, it's like 24 to 26. And then I play in like 25 to like 30 now. And like
a day?
Yeah. And so it went up from fucking like, it's like, okay, like that's definitely from the weekly releases. And also the songs.
Yeah.
Nothing got less streams because I released more.
Yeah.
You know,
that's real. Yeah. Cause I sit around like 12,000 to 14, 15,000 every day. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's that's a lot, bro. That's crazy.
Regardless, I don't even look at like regardless if it's a lot. I look at it from like the growth aspect. Fuck, who gives a fuck what my number is? It's like how I would look at it for you is like, okay, I have 12,000. Like how many did I get last year at this time though? That's what I do. I look at it.
Bro, yeah.
Like fuck my numbers. It's everything's from a growth perspective. It's like compare yourself to like what happened last year for you.
For me, the thing is though, bro, I get too obsessed with the numbers, so I've kind of tried to chill off of it because I get too obsessed with it. When I get a really high, I'm like, oh, dude, this is fucking sick. Like I'm growing so much, and then not that my head gets big or whatever. I'm just like, then I'm thinking about the numbers all the time, and then when I ever see a fucking dip, I always get sad, bro. So I'm like, I'd rather just like check it every now and then, but not check. Cause I was checking it every day, like multiple times a day, even like as if it was going to change, but I would just like check it. Like
I do that too, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I actually asked a question on Twitter and I said like, how many times you check your thing? And like everyone pretty much said every day.
Yeah. I probably check it multiple times a week.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, that's healthy, man. I mean, but also like,
whoa. Yeah. I have another question. What do you think about taking hiatuses from social media?
I think everything in life is situational. I think I think it's beneficial for sure because like I think social media fucking sucks. And yeah, I think it's
if I didn't have to have one for making music, I wouldn't have one. I do not like social media.
5 artists in a row have told me that on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I like social media. It's cool. It's funny. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's good parts to it, but also like, dude, Dude, I had to take a break a month ago or something. Like I took like a week or so break off all of social media. Like I deleted everything off my phone because it was during like right after the elections and shit. And I just kept seeing negative shit on my feed. And every time I'd open my phone, I'm just seeing negative shit. And then it'd affect me the whole day because I'm like, bro, like you see enough negative shit, you're just going to become negative. And I'm a pretty, even when I'm doing bad, I think I'm like a positive person. I just like, I don't really.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a very positive person. So I don't like the Debbie Downers. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I hate being around people that everything's a fucking negative thing. Yeah. And that's what I feel like the internet is sometimes is just like super Debbie Downers. And like you can never be happy for someone does something. And you know what pisses me off, bro? And I'm just kind of on a tangent. But when someone will do something good for someone. Okay, no, I'll say a phrase like this. Someone will do some terrible shit. Everyone will like it, retweet it, whatever, comment on it. And then someone films them doing something fucking dope. And everyone's like, why record it? Okay, so you're bitching about how it's always negative shit and someone does something positive and then you're like, why are you recording this? Bro, fucking dick, dude. Like, don't you want to see positive shit on your timeline? What?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that irks me. That's one of the things that irks me.
I get it. You can't win in this world with social media.
Yeah, you can't.
So I had to stop checking comments. Not that people were saying like outlandish shit, but like when you check the comments, like I said with the numbers, your head either inflates or you get really down. Like someone will say some fucked up shit to you and you're like, dude, you don't even know me. Like, why are you know what I'm trying to say? And like, I try to act like I don't see the comments, but bro, I see the comments. Everyone sees the comments. So yeah, I try not to check the comments now, but yeah, it's insane. Absolutely, bro. Especially as like an artist, man. Like I'm completely with taking social media hiatuses. It's always like person to person. Personally right now, like I'm putting out so much content, like
that you have to be.
You got it, dude. And like, it's like, bro, like the fucking hard part about being an artist right now is like figuring out like, okay, like, am I missing my shots by not being on TikTok? Am I supposed to be posting YouTube videos? Am I supposed to drop a song a lot? Am I supposed to wait? Like, it's just figuring out the whole game. And that's the whole part of being an entrepreneur. But yeah,
TikTok is something I'm not even on TikTok, bro. I should be. I just don't understand it, dude, to be real with you. And all my friends are like, all my like friends that aren't artists are on TikTok. Yeah. And all my artist friends aren't on TikTok, which makes like no fucking sense. But yeah, it's a funny thing. It's
cool. I actually like it. It's a cool app. At first, like, I'm also, one thing to learn about me too is like, I don't dislike a lot. And so like, usually like even like shit where it's like, this is obviously to be hated. I'm like a very, what's it called? Framework person. Like I find down the reasons. Like for instance, like yesterday I was having a conversation with my buddy about Jake Paul, right? He's like, I fucking hate Jake Paul, blah, blah. Like, I fucking hate him, blah, blah. And I get it. And like, he's such a hated, like I get like why you hate Jake Paul. Like, and there's reasons for me to say like, I hate Jake Paul, but I have an understanding of like that. He's trying to be a hated person. Like he obviously like, he knows he looks like he's trying to do this for like X, Y, and Z. And like, I don't hate him. Like I don't hate a lot. TikTok at first I was like, damn, like this could be like a cringy thing. And then like I saw potential. And, like I'm on TikTok, like doing like I post like me rapping and shit like on TikTok now. But like,
Jake Paul is definitely a hated person, but I understand what he's doing. He's kind of like 6ix9ine a little bit. Like he wants to be the troll
dude. And it fucking like, okay. I
like troll culture though. I think it's funny.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, I'm consuming there are reasons to consume, right? Somebody's choosing to listen to an Apollo song because they want to feel that emotion. Maybe they don't want to shake their ass and dance, right? Yeah. But like people listen to Word of Wise because they want to feel good, but they'll listen to Life's Dreams because they're feeling dark that day. Yeah. If I tune into a Jake Paul content, I'm not tuning in to learn anything. I'm tuning in to be entertained by a fucking trolling idiot. 100%. So when he does trolling idiot stuff, I'm not going to get pissed off at him.
Well, that's like people are expecting something from someone that's not what they're doing. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. It's like he's going to make you choose how you feel.
It's like the people that are like, oh, I don't listen to mumble rap. Don't listen to it, bro. Like, or like when you're like listening to Playboy Cardi, you're like, this is mumble rap. Dude, he's not Eminem going to his page thinking he's about to be spitting bars, bro. Like, what the fuck? That's not the music he makes. So yeah, I don't know. That's so funny. The internet's a funny place, but it's. Yeah. I also have a question. Yeah. What Who's in your top 5, bro? Top 5 artists of all time, bro.
Artists of all time, bro. Rappers of all time. Bang. Drake, off rip.
He's my favorite too.
Yeah, I consider it like Drake's the GOAT. Like I can't even name. So like think about, we're gonna be talking about Drake forever. Like this man has hits after hits for decades. So for like a decade. So it's like, regardless of what people say about him, like I don't give a fuck. I look at catalogs. Drake, it's like tough for me to say like all time.
No, you don't have to do all time. I hate the all time thing because then people are like, "Oh, Tupac and Biggie." You don't listen to Tupac.
I'll throw down a Russ just because like he comes correct and he's got the bars.
Yeah, my top 5.
Yeah, Drake, Russ. Oh man, fucking it's fucking hard, man. Like honestly, this Justin Bieber, just a very very talented human. I didn't see that shit coming. If you meant like rappers, you know like rappers.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because like I like look all around. I guess
I'm not really that big of a rapper person anymore. But like I do enjoy rap, but that's not really what I listen to anymore.
Yeah, Logic for sure is in there. I mean, like he's fucking fire. Like there's some underground cats who literally are in my top 5.
Damn.
You know who On Q is?
I do know who On Q is. He's dope.
Bro, I'll literally throw On Q up in there. I remember I was like listening to On Q heavy a couple of years ago, and like now like it's crazy, but like he's like you know he's not like a super popular person. Yeah, but I tell him all the time. What'd you say?
Cal Scrooby, you fuck with him?
Yeah, Cal Scrooby's fire too.
Dude, he's so fucking funny.
Shit like that, and also like there's a thing about the music culture where people are scared to be fans of like their peers, and you'll see like I'll post people like all the time that like and like I'm not scared to like show like there's a weird thing about showing love because it makes you seem like you're cool or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's why I have a song with Kiwi and I've been telling him forever. Kiwi's in my top 5. Like, bro, you're my favorite artist. Like you're like I'm a fan of you. You're my favorite fucking artist. Like when you drop shit, it's fire. You know, and it's just kind of funny. Cool. Yeah, he's dope. What about you? Who's your top 5?
I don't know, dude. Honestly, I was just kind of asking. Drake is in my top 5 for sure. I think he's my number 1. If we're talking rappers, like my favorite rappers of all time, probably Drake, Russ, Eminem is in there. I don't listen to Eminem, but he's one of my favorite rappers of all time. I'm trying to think who else would be in my top 5.
What about here's one? Let me flip it on you because like I'll give you a different kind of question. In our scene right now, like related artists and stuff, who are some artists that like you pay attention to that are like doing something? You're like, okay, this kid's like kind of moving, like he's doing something dope.
Oh shit! Like who I listen to, like actually like.
Yeah, that or like it's just like people you kind of you give props to.
Obviously, you, Ollie Joseph, Cal Scrooby. Adrian Estresso, he's one of my favorites. Trying to think of who it's hard to Zero. Do you know who that is?
Not too well, but yeah, I know through Ryan, through Ryan.
I've actually known Zero since I was 14. Wow. Like personally, yeah, because he was this. So he used to be a fan of this person that I was like, I wasn't cool with him, but like I knew him. And he would send him shit. And I was like, dude, you're dope. And I asked him to have a feature for me when I was 14. He was 15. And we just like, he mixed my first project ever. And then we just been cool ever since. And he's just a really good dude. But yeah, him. I'm trying to think. Jeremy Falcone. Do you know who that is? He's he's super fire. Packy, obviously Cyrus. I don't really I don't know. There's a lot of
good amount.
Yeah. I'm pretty into that whole like scene. I like that kind of music though. I'm a big fan of the underground rap because it's more feels more authentic, you know?
Yeah. And I am too a little bit, I like supporting kids that are on the same hustle as me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like cool. Like I'll throw on like people like artists like are similar to us because it's like I almost feel like I'm like, yeah, like that's what you're supposed to do.
100%. And I feel like we're kind of like all on the same, because I feel like when they talk about the come up and shit like that, I relate to it because I'm like, oh, well, we're kind of like in the same sphere. And so, I don't know. It's relatable to me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Pretty similar to you. I mean, I guess like, artists that I give a lot of credits to, it's like Justin Stone.
Justin Stone. Oh my God. I totally forgot about Justin Stone. I'm so pissed. Yeah. He's a super good dude.
Yeah.
He's such a nice person. And Abstract, too. I forgot. Both really good people.
Yeah, dope guys. I met Abstract once. Justin, we've chatted a bunch, and he's hopping on the podcast too. And like we have like an interesting story, but like I'll probably save that for his fucking podcast. But like yeah, I mean like like Justin, Arizona Zervis, you know, I think about artists like that, like that when I was the first song I ever had mixed was by Neek Attack.
He's a super nice person.
And that was back when like they were like Arizona had like 100,000 monthly listeners, right? And like fucking I think Justin had like the same, and like it's like I've seen these guys like kind of blow up, and it's fire, dude. And like those two guys, you know, are really moving needles. I don't know, man. Like
the one thing I appreciate about Justin is that he literally is like has so many like people that listen to him, and he's so like just cares about artists. You know what I'm saying? He like he just wants to help people. So I really appreciate that from him. He's a really good dude. Anytime I like need something or like want to talk, he's like super open. He's a really good
That's the best, dude. Man. That's the type of guy that I aim to be like I feel like I am like that. Like I try to be like that as well. As like I want to be somebody that's like approachable for other artists. Like if they have one monthly listener or if they have 1 million, you know?
Yeah. That's real. Yeah.
And like Nate Good's another artist. He's hopping on tomorrow.
I've never really listened to his music, but I've heard a few songs.
Got to.
He hops in every single person's like fans also like, and I'm like, I don't know this person, but he's in everybody. Is like, it's wild.
Dude, he's fire. I was a fan of Nate for a while. He's coming on the podcast tomorrow, actually. And like, I'm pumped about that because he was like an artist I've been listening to since I was like fucking 19 years old. So
really? How old is he?
I have no idea, man. So like, I'm pumped about it, bro, because I'm a fan out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's like, but yeah, I mean, you know, pretty much everybody that you mentioned, they're like kind of in that area. But yeah, it's cool to see everybody kind of doing their things because also like you don't know. Like I said, like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, you know, somebody could be the next fucking big thing, and it's like, damn, that's cool. I had that connection, and like I saw this artist grow into like who they are. Like I don't know what you're gonna be next year.
Yeah, I like that. I like building with people, like building a relationship with people. Because I'm not a dude. I knew I've known so many people for years, like not to name names or whatever, but for years, and I never asked them for a song just because I like the relationship that I have with these people more than I actually care about making music with them. I just want to because like I said, everyone has their own perspective on things. Like when I asked Zero for advice or something, his take on something is completely different than what mine would be. Or if I asked Ali on something, like their views on what to do in a situation is completely different than what I would have done. So I just making those relationships and you know, having someone to talk to that's on the same playing field, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I completely agree. How long have we been going for?
We're going for a grab, bro.
I don't even know how long it is. Is it?
Probably 2 hours.
Let me check the little logic. Yeah, almost 2 hours. All right, well then I want to keep it. I'll keep it around there then because I want you to have you back on again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, thanks for
the combo.
Yeah, it feels good. How do you feel?
I feel good, bro. That was a good combo. I liked it. I like it. Yeah, it was good.
Pumped.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I feel great. Pumped to connect with you on. And it's like nice to like, you know, have a more formal introduction and know you a little better too.
Yeah. What I do have a question. Yeah. What I like you to, and you can flip it on me too. What kind of person did you feel like I was before you met me, or like listen to my music or whatever? Like before we actually had this conversation, like, what kind of person would you think I am? Like, because everyone always has a different perspective.
Well, I think is
it different than what it actually is, or is it around that?
The words that were going to come to my mind were exactly what I expected. Actually,
really?
Yeah, exactly what I expected. And I mean, you can take that how you want. I think it's a good thing, but like, you know, because so you're transparent or who you are. But exactly what I expected. You know, like I would describe you as someone like, you know, after listening to your songs for a while and, you know, doing my research on you, it's like I had a little more background, but it's like meeting you right here. It's just exactly, you know, what I expected. You seem like you have a kind heart and you mean very well. And, you know, you're asking questions that's like, you know, almost like I think that you appreciate input from others. Like I kind of get that gist from you that like you're open to hearing, you know, how potentially you could like move something different. It's not, you didn't even ask me like advice on something, but I feel like if you were to ask me certain critiques about how to operate in your business, like you'd be willing to listen. And so like, you're exactly what I kind of pictured, which is a good thing.
You're exactly what I thought too. That's what I was about to say is you're like exactly the person I thought you were, bro. It's a good thing, bro. You're very, you're easygoing, bro. You're like a easy person to talk to. It's a good thing.
Try to do the damn thing. I'm trying to fucking, trying to make it happen. The coolest part about like these podcasts are too, is like there's a barrier broken down that we talked about, that it's like the mystique, non-relationships with artist to artist thing of like people being too cool for somebody because they have like more clout or like, or just like how to get to know people like that. And I've also had like a lot of different conversations on the podcast. So it's like, it's been a lot, like I've been blessed with that opportunity to be able to like learn from other people. Like I've learned so much from like, you know, listening to you today and, you know, hearing like your background, like your lifestyle, and like, it just makes you appreciate things more too. Like I can appreciate your music more now when I throw it on.
That's dope. Yeah. So, it gives you a little background on people too. And like when you get to do this with artists, you like learn why they're making the music they're making, and or why they make the decisions that they make when they're promoting or online or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, all right, cool, man. Well, before we wrap it up, I want you to know, you got my, I'll just shoot you my fucking phone number. I don't think that
I don't have your phone number, bro. We were just DM.
Yeah. Well, so, if you ever fucking need me or whatever, I'm always here. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, dude. You too.
Yeah, bro. Well, I don't know when this shit's going to be up, but I'm excited. That was a good conversation.
Yeah, that was a good convo, bro. That was a good 2 hours, bro.
I mean, that was a nice rip. So I'm planning on having this up next week. So probably like on fucking, I don't know. I think I'm going to do Thursdays just because Mike's did how it operated was like on Thursdays with his dropping tomorrow. Okay. So I'll see where you're going to land. Cause I got a couple people that like I'm doing like back to back before I go to Florida in like a week. So I have to like not work as much like while I'm over there.
Yeah. Are you just going to vacation or whatever?
Yeah. My parents are going down there to like, they're like going down there to like go do Christmas. So I said that I was going to come visit them.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you from Boston?
Yeah. From
the whole time?
Yeah. I'm from Cape Cod originally, which is like a little bit of like an hour and a half away from Boston. And then went to college in New Hampshire. As soon as my sophomore year of college, I moved out and never went back to Cape. And I just been living in Boston. Like that first summer, I just summered on my buddy's couch who went to college in Boston. Like I've never really left the city. I mean, I've like visited a bunch of places and shit. And like
is there a reason you like to stay?
No, that's why I'm leaving. Like there's no real reason. I love Boston completely, but I like to experience different things, and I want to go experience like another state for a long period of time.
I think people should do that too, is venture out and see because I've learned that from Alias. There's so many different cultures, and like my culture here in Lansing is completely different than your culture in Boston.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, it's important. Like I remember you said you haven't been to a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been fortunate to, and it's also like, when you like being an artist too. And then, you can get that you get to a place where you have that, like the revenue where it's like, you feel like comfortable, like traveling or some shit. And you're like, cause it gets fucking sketchy sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like, but once like I was lucky enough to kind of like pass that kind of threshold. And it's like, now that like I love fucking traveling. Like I already have like, I don't know, a couple of things planned out, but like, cause I like to spend like long periods of times and submerge myself in the culture there. Like
weren't you just somewhere? I can't remember where it was, but
I was just I just went to Disney like last week, and I'm going to Orlando again. And then I'm going to be going back to like, California to go stay with my buddy, out there.
Are you scared about catching the cove?
Nah, I ain't scared of nothing. No, I'm like, I'm pretty safe though. Like, there's also this, I mean, we can get into that, but like, there's also this like certain idea about that whole thing. I mean, obviously it's very fucking real, and like people definitely, struggle with that. And, but like when I went to Disney, for instance, like it was me and my girl, and we were I interacted with less people there than I did when I was in Boston. Like,
damn.
There's like on the rides, like there was nobody like you could like interact with. Like there's like 10 feet between everybody. There's less people in the parks. Like flying on an airplane too. Like you're pretty much like spaced out for the most part. Like, and it's chilling. And like when I go to these places, like when I go to Cali, like I'll be locked in the stew with my buddy, and like it'll just be us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
so not really as much. Like I'm a fucking liver. It's not even a fucking word. Like, I mean, like, dude, like I'm very safe about it, but I'm definitely on the end of like, I'm not hiding until I die, because it's like, now, like in understanding who I am now, it's like, I like, you know, I know what it's like to like almost be close to that shit. It's like, you know, like have like near death situations. So I'm like, bro, like I'm living, you know,
100%. Because you don't want to fucking like hide until you're, like you just said, you don't want to hide until you're dying. Like you don't want to just be like scared of everything, but at the same time, you don't want to be stupid and like put yourself in harm. But you can't just like isolate yourself forever, you know? You kind of have to.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody's different. That's just my take on it. And like, I get why other people, it also hasn't like closely, you know, like affected me yet. So like, that's why it's all what affects you in life. That's how people react to everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's guaranteed if I had somebody in my family that, you know, unfortunately had something happen to them from COVID, it's like my ass would be like, you know?
Yeah. That's real.
It's that's just fucking everything. But cool, man. We'll wrap it up. Thanks for coming on the pod, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime. Hopefully we'll be able to do this like formally, having the fucking in person in the studio and like actually do the shit legit, you know?
Are you just doing it by yourself now?
Yeah, then I'm gonna have my buddy come back on too, and like we'll like have our lighthearted conversations and shit too. But like,
that's dope.
Yeah, the direction I've been going in is like I'm having entrepreneurs on, but I'm definitely gonna have like, I'm gonna have my other. You've listened to a couple of them before? You have, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. You were in my podcast top 5.
Oh, that's right. You sent me that. Yeah. Fuck yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, and so I'm gonna have, you know, Trav on here too, and like we're still gonna do our thing, and like, but I want to gear it more towards having like more artists, because I think it's cool for other artists to like learn about those people like that you listen to, you know, every day. You're like, oh, like, you know, like let's say you didn't know Justin Stone or something. You'd have like you could hear Justin Stone talk for like an hour, like with Matt Corman, and it's like, well, like I actually listen to these both guys. Like these are cool.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we'll get to meet in person one day, bro. That'd be dope, and do a little pod.
Yeah, man. You know the vibes. All right, well, we'll keep killing it, man. I like what you're doing, and you know, it's only going to be up from here for you.
Appreciate that. You too, bro.
All right, bro. I'll stop recording. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to the Kids at Work podcast, Matt Corman podcast. Again, you guys can follow Paulo. You know, if you're still here after 2 hours, you're a fucking real one. So like, shout out to you. You are Apollo Mission.
Apollo Mission 27. Yeah.
Is that on everywhere?
That's everywhere. Apollo Mission 27 everywhere. You know the vibes.
You know the vibes, man. Make sure you guys follow him. Check him out on Spotify, on SoundCloud, YouTube, everywhere. If you're supporting me, make sure you go support him as well. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great day at work. I'll meet you later. Peace.